Hello. Right, I thought I would just do a quick little video just on sort of a buying guide on what to, what sort of the differences between Sky Air, Sky Glass Gen 1, Sky Glass Gen 2 and Sky Glass Stream. So we will start with sort of the newest, I suppose it's the newest, yes it is the newest, it's the most recent released device, which is Sky Air. So the things that let Sky Air down is unfortunately global dimming, where it dims through the whole, if you see behind me, that's what I'm trying to do, the whole picture rather than individual areas. That's really the only sort of downside to the Sky Air. It's a shame that it doesn't have local dimming, because I think it would make an absolute banging TV, because it doesn't have the great big soundbar along the bottom. It does have speakers in each side, I believe, probably how they are in here, sort of tucked in the side. The colours, you can get decent colours in it, slightly different to the Gen 1 and Gen 2s, although I think there might be some crossovers between the two. That's about it with Sky Air. Other than that, it's just a telly. It's a Sky Glass sort of experience, but Sky Air. So you're going to get the Sky Glass sort of stuff, but obviously without the soundbar and without the actual built-in Dolby Atmos. Now, I don't know if it still outputs Dolby Atmos. I would have thought it would. I don't see why it wouldn't. It's got Dolby, I think it's just Dolby Stereo, but that's going to be good enough for most people. So it's not a bad telly, except for the global dimming. Right, Sky Glass Gen 2. So this is locally dimmed backlight. So like highlight a bit over there, that will be brighter than say what this is up here, so then you don't get too much bleed in the blacks, and especially in scenes with sort of nighttime scenes basically, and with some bright bits and pieces. It's going to look better on the Gen 1 rather than the Sky Glass Air. The Gen 1 has Dolby Atmos built in, and it's got speakers, loads of speakers everywhere. They're on the side. I can't remember if there's any on the top. I can't remember. They got sub in them as well. For me, I turn the bass boost off because it starts getting a little bit rattly after a while, and I think that's to do with the way that they've attached the wires and stuff inside the actual TV. It also has Dolby Vision. Sorry, I think, I'm not sure actually if the Dolby Vision does have, if the Sky Air does have Dolby Vision. I have to look into that. I'm pretty sure it probably does, but then that global dimmer is not going to help it. But the Gen 1 Sky Glass has Dolby Vision. It has, if you get the big set, I'm not sure when it starts getting less, maybe after the 55, but you get 3 HDMI inputs, 1 an ARC input, and you also get a USB-C port, but that is only for power. So if you, it was originally for the Sky Live, this thing up here that's now discontinued. So I mean, you can, the only thing is it's on all the time, so you could charge devices on it, or something that you need sort of to have plugged in with its own sort of on off switch. It's really a pointless thing. There's no need for it at all. It doesn't connect to the TV, so you can't use it like with memory cards and stuff like that. There's no doing of that. You'd have to get a third-party device that plugs in HDMI to sort of do that, and that'll be the same for the Gen 2. It's got some half decent colours. I mean, I've got Gen 1 still in the other room, and that's in the white, which I quite liked. I quite like the white. I didn't colour the soundbar white though, because I think that made it look horrible, and I think over time, if you colour that soundbar white, it's going to pick up dirt with the speakers moving in and out. You're going to get dirt around sort of the grills. So I just had mine black. I don't think there's an option now. I'm really not sure. I couldn't see it when I was ordering my Gen 2, which is behind me. And we've got Snoopy on there as a screensaver. Hopefully that doesn't get flagged up for monetization reasons and whatever else. Now the updates are going to become more limited over time with the Gen 1, because obviously the Gen 2's the newer boy on the block, as you would say. I think they will still support it for a little while, but I think any big updates are going to come to the Gen 2. I think you might get left behind if you've got a Gen 1, unfortunately. I just think that's how it is. And that's about it for the Gen 1. So we'll move on to the Gen 2, this beast behind me. Pretty much the same as the Gen 1. The Gen 2, it's got all the same Dolby Atmos, local dimming, slightly brighter screen. I wouldn't say it was dramatically majorly brighter, but yeah, it is a slightly brighter screen. The sound, to me, I don't think it sounds as good as the Gen 1. I think the Gen 1, the sound on the TV, not that I use it, sounds so much better. It sounds a lot fuller. The bass, you have to completely turn it off on the Gen. Well, if you turn it off completely on here, it's like nothing at all. You sort of have to be honest, you have to have it on for it to sound sort of anywhere near the Gen 1 when the Gen 1's got it turned off. But you get the vibrations on this one as well. So it's just, yeah, it's not as good on sound, definitely not as good. I do think it's probably crisper. The higher end of it is probably, you know, a bit more sort of clarity in it, maybe. Still got the same HDMI ports, 3 on the back of this one. You get a USB-C, and on this set you have USB-A. Now I have no idea what that's for, because obviously the C is for the camera, A, that might be for something coming in the future, but if not, it's going to obviously be for if Sky ever need to port into it to reprogram the TV. But it's still not for hard drives. Still got no hard drive or flash drive support. Nothing there, doesn't connect to it, apparently. I reckon it might do with a firmware upgrade. That would be quite cool. Not that people really use that sort of thing anymore. Anyway, what else have we got in there? There are some different colours. So this one is, I can't remember what it is. Is it Volcano something maybe? I can't remember, but I do quite like this this colour. But the only thing is, it does get quite dusty on the back. Like even when you unbox it, there's dust. I unboxed how many of these? 3, 4? Can't remember. I lost count over, you know, with the ones that went back. But yeah, they were all dusty. At first I thought, you know, they were second hand, but I just think it's just dust, because it's all cardboard and everything, so it's dust from the cardboard. And it is slightly faster on the remote control than the Gen 1, not massively, but I notice little bits like that. And fingers crossed, so far it's been absolutely fine, to be quite honest. The Gen 1 in the other room's not played up since since launch, since we had all the problems that I had, and maybe they actually watched a lot of my videos. I know that they do watch my videos. Well, some of them did used to. I don't know if they do anymore. Haven't really done any for a while. So that is it for the actual TVs. Now we'll go on to the Sky Stream. So this is where you get to keep your own TV, and it outputs, I think it only outputs in 60 hertz, but I could be wrong. You know, if I am wrong, you know, quote it up. I have got one in the other room, but I've never really looked at the refresh rate and stuff. It's okay. It's not the same feel as you get with Sky Glass. All the menus and everything are the same, but it's a lot slower. Now there is sort of word out there saying there is going to be a new one coming out soon. So if there is, I hope they do upgrade people that have already got streams, because you know, it's not a device that costs that much for Sky to produce. If customers like myself with the stream in the other room, if we send them back and get a refresh model, you know, something that's a little bit faster and a little bit better, that would be good. Yeah, and get some ports on the back of it, not just HDMI, and I think there's an aerial lead on there. Not just that. Let's have some nice stuff. I don't know. Let's have ARC. I don't even know if it's ARC, to be quite honest. I'm sure it's I've never really looked at the stream device. I will next time that I have to reboot it, which you do have to sort of every now and again, is pull the lead out and just let it reboot, because it just doesn't load programs up. I will pull it out and have a look and see what's in the back, because I honestly can't remember, and I do apologise, because that's I should know, but I don't. So that is it, and I hope that is given all of you sort of an idea on what you're looking for, and what you want to buy if you're going to buy into which sort of device. And word of warning, watch it if you're buying something second hand, because it still could have a contract sort of on it, which it's completely up to Sky if obviously you buy it and you want to use the smart services or whatever, because some of them do have them on, some of them don't. They take them off. You will have to register that product as yours. It's because Sky can see where the TV is through your IP address and all this, that and the other, so you might have issues registering it with Sky. But like I said, if it's up to them if they take you on as a new customer. I mean, it's in their best interest to do that if they've got someone that's not paying for something, and then they've sold it on to you. It's better that they get a new subscription out of someone else, if you see what I mean, rather than not doing that. And sort of, it's sort of in their favour to get a new subscription, but it is completely up to them what they do. Obviously you should still be able to plug your HDMI stuff in the back. That's not going to be a problem at all. And that's about it. So you know what to do, people. Thanks for watching.